What up, though? What up, though? What is up, though? Motor City Cats back at it. All right, we'll try this again. Motor City Cats back at it. Came to give you stats, not static. Whatever you do, make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic. And we got a little bit of a, we just want to hit a bit of an intro today. Just a bit of an intro. You know, it's not my official intro, but you know, we gonna make it do what it do. So if you will allow me, let's just go ahead. If I can find it. All right, that's it. All right, here we go. 1, 2, ready, go.
But look at here. Look. I got beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, ram, raw, beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, chicken, turkeys, rat. Beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, raw, beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, chicken, turkeys, beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, raw, beans,
all
greens,
right.
potatoes, tomatoes.
Yes, sir. We gonna get into some Lions football today. We got everything. We got them beans. We got them greens. We got them potatoes and tomatoes. And I know you guys are here for the greens, as in Mike Green. We're gonna get it to him a little bit later, but we want to start off with what we wanted to start off. TaylorMade Media said, I know where you got that one from. I don't know what's going on with my volume. My volume is fine. Okay, I know that my volume is fine, but I got these earbuds in and it just keeps jumping upwards, and I don't know what's happening with that. But we're gonna keep it pushing though. We're gonna keep it pushing. All right, let me check. The microphone volume is good, right? Okay, Press said, I just got back from grocery shopping too. What up, though, J-Rod? What up, though, Tactical Sport? What up, though, TaylorMade Media? What up, though, K ain't pressed? All right, let me check this, man. Like every time I go away from it, it just shoots right back up. So I got to keep this up here. All right. Turn up my microphone volume. Microphone check. Check. All right. What up, though, Rod Love? Bro, this is actually crazy. It's just pop straight. Like if I don't keep my volume right on the top of the screen, it just shoots right back up all the way to 100, and it kills my ears. Anyway, let me see how we can solve that issue. Plus, keep the chat up so I can see the chat and not kill my ears at the same time. All right, we got that going. All right, what up, though, Rod Love? What up, though? I don't know if I want to read any comments. Let me get it in before anyone else comes in here. JRod313 says Goff, Mosley, Vildor, Kamish, and a pick for Watson, Garrett, Newsom, and Judy. What? What up, though? Precision stated. Yep, we're not doing that again today, J-Rod. All right, so what we have today, we are going to start out with some Myles Garrett talk. And the Myles Garrett talk that we're going to start off with is not the greatest Myles Garrett talk. But as we sit here and we talk about Myles Garrett possibly not coming here, I believe that with this stud edge rusher class, I am getting a little bit less worried. It would still be a disaster if Myles Garrett went to the Green Bay Packers, if Myles Garrett went to the Chicago Bears, if Myles Garrett went to the Minnesota Vikings, if Myles Garrett went to any team within the NFC North that is not called the Detroit Lions, it would be a disaster. But do you know that that is not actually the worst case scenario? Myles Garrett going to any of our NFC divisional rivals? I'm going to show you what the worst case scenario is. Y'all ready for this? Prepare yourself, because it ain't pretty. Myles Garrett linked to top Super Bowl contender. And this article is from Greg Papke. I don't know who Greg Papke is, but shout out to you, my friend. It says the rich may be about to get richer based on some new speculation about a potential trade involving Myles Garrett. Now, this is speculation because this is the speculation season, the silly season, as I like to call it. If you hear anyone else calling it the silly season, just know they got it from me. I'm just saying. You know, I'm not a big horn tooter, but, you know, just sometimes people try to use my stuff. Anyway, several anonymous. Okay, they're always anonymous. They never put their name on it. They never say it with their chest. Okay? You know, they're, I don't know what you would call it, but they're just not LeVar Ball. You know what I'm saying? They don't talk about how they are undefeated. Okay? They don't talk about these things. So I had it, bro. I had it. All right, they don't. Here we go. Let me try it again. They don't talk about how they're LeVar Ball and they.
5-on-5 game, he good. 1-on-1, I'm undefeated, never lost.
Okay, all right. So they don't have that much gumption when they say what they say. But it says several anonymous NFL executives told Jason LaPorta of the Washington Post that they believe Garrett will ultimately be traded to the. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Philadelphia Eagles.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
All right. So, and the reasons are the executives believe the Philadelphia Eagles would be motivated to make a deal due to their lack of edge talent. They also noted that Cleveland Browns GM Andrew Berry previously worked for the Eagles and maintains a good relationship with Philadelphia GM Howie Roseman. Now, one of the reasons that we said that it would make sense for him to trade Garrett to the Lions is because Brad Holmes and Andrew Berry have previously done work together. They worked together on the Zadarius Smith trade. So you go with the people that you're familiar with. Well, more familiar is Howie Roseman to Andrew Berry because he used to work for him. He didn't used to work for Brad Holmes. He worked with, in conjunction on a trade, but not for. So I don't like that at all. They go on to say that it's going to be a win-win. One AFC general manager anonymously told LaPorta they're going to get 2 first-round draft picks for him, and he'll get to a winning team. That's it. Just 2 first-round draft picks. All right. Now, that's really all we need from that article. We don't really need anything else from there. This kind of pours cold water on the people that believe that The Cleveland Browns are not going to trade Myles Garrett to a team because they believe that the Cleveland Browns are looking for the tip of the top when it comes to first round draft picks. Again, and I can't make this clear enough. I can't stress this enough. Myles Garrett wants to go to a contender. So if they decide that they're going to allow Myles Garrett to do what he would like and to grant him his wish, then they're not getting Tennessee's first round pick. They're not getting the Bears' first round pick, or two of the Bears' first round picks, or two of Tennessee's first round picks. They're not getting any of the Colts. They're not getting any of the Patriots. They're not getting any of the teams in the top 10. Because if you're in the top 10 of the drafting order, and we're not saying that you made a trade and now you're in the top 10 and you were in the Super Bowl last season. That's not how it worked. If anybody in the top 10 is trying to trade for Myles Garrett, guess what? Myles Garrett is not trying to go there. He's trying to get out of Cleveland, right? Cleveland's in the top 3, aren't they? Right? I think. Do they have the number 3 pick or the number 2 pick? One of them. They're at the top, right? They're definitely top 5. So he's trying to get out of a situation in the top 5 of the draft because he's trying to go to a contender. So Cleveland is not looking around and saying, we're gonna trade Myles Garrett to Tennessee so he can be reunited with Mason Rudolph. No, we're not doing that. Okay, so 28 is a pick that you can get, and apparently 32 is a pick that you can get. Right? Pick number 32 is basically the first pick of the second round. Okay, J-Rod and Zach J said that they are number 2, so they have the number 2 pick. Right? That's not what he's looking for. He's not looking to go into a similar situation. That would be known as a lateral move. What do I think about this situation? Very unfair. It would just be unfair. We saw what that defensive line did to Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. If you put Myles Garrett on the edge, and I don't care if they lose Josh Sweat in free agency. I don't care if Brandon Graham retires. None of that. I don't care about none of that. If you put Myles Garrett on the line with Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, it is not fair. They can put Josh Pascal on the other on the other side of the line, and that would just be unfair. So, do I want Myles Garrett to go to Philadelphia? Absolutely not. Do I want him to go anywhere in the NFC other than to the Detroit Lions? Obviously not. But if he's going to go to the Super Bowl champions, because unfortunately that's what we have to say about the Philadelphia Eagles, I'm going to pass. I just don't think it's fair. And we might just have to sit the season out. But, you got to play the games, and they put the games on paper before they are played. And everyone picks what we think is going to happen before the game is played. But when you get in between them white lines, let's get up between them white lines, boy, and then we'll see what we're talking about. If you know, use the hashtag. J-Rod313 says Bills, for them to trade him within the AFC is ridiculous. I've covered that before. You, as the Cleveland Browns, you want to get to the mountaintop. You want to get to the Super Bowl, and then guess who you have to play in a couple of years when you get to the AFC Championship? For example, Myles Garrett. And guess who's standing in your way of getting to the Super Bowl? Myles Garrett, right? If Myles Garrett is who you have to see in the Super Bowl, then so be it, right? But him blocking your way from getting to the Super Bowl is not something that you want. So I don't see why you would trade within the AFC. The Bills, the Ravens, all of those teams have similar draft picks to what the Lions, the Commanders, unfortunately, Eagles, Chiefs, well, not Chiefs because they're in the AFC. But again, you're going to get similar picks in the NFC as you would get in the AFC. So why would you trade him to an AFC contender? That doesn't make sense. Before I speak, because I heard it. You said the new offensive assistant. What college did he come from? Are you talking about Stanford? Are you talking about David Shaw? Here's Johnny. What up, though? KA Press says now everybody want to go to the Eagles. Yeah, that's what happens. You win a ring and then everybody wants to come and play. They want ring chase. Here's Johnny says we don't want to see Garrett on any other NFC North team. I don't want to see him on any other team in the NFC. If that's the case, he can stay with the Browns and toil in obscurity. I don't care. All right. The other thing we got a little bit of sound. I've been tinkering, right? I've been tinkering with the limits of this soundboard. And one thing that I figured out was why don't, because with OBS, it's a struggle. It's a struggle to bring in sound. It's a struggle to bring in media, but we don't need to bring in all the media. We can just bring in the sound. So I said, hey, why don't we go ahead and get a little bit of some of the interview that we had with Dan Miller and John Morton. Go ahead, take a listen.
All right, Coach, let's start here. Just thoughts on this opportunity and being back in Detroit.
I think it's an unbelievable opportunity just to get another chance. You know, calling plays the first time at the Jets. That was an experience. I've learned from that. But just being here at home. You know, I grew up here. Family's still here. I understand, you know, what it takes. I've seen the ups or a lot of the downs, and I've seen, you know, Barry Sanders. I grew up a Barry Sanders fan, so. But it's really exciting for this opportunity. You don't get too many of them, and I'm ready.
You hit on something right there that I know a lot of people wonder about, so let's knock it out. Are you definitely called in the plays?
I am, yes.
So you mentioned it second time around. How's it different this time around for you when you have that experience in your back pocket?
I just think that situation in New York, it was tough because I was hired in. I had to keep the coaches there. I didn't know anybody there.
Right.
Here, I know people. They know me. I know them. And we just finalized our staff. I was in on those interviews, and I can't tell you how excited I am for the coaches that we have here now. So it's big.
You know, you just touched on something that jumped out at me when you were hired, and that is the familiarity.
Yeah.
I'll stop it when it gets to the Drew Brees point because I want to talk about all that.
Yeah.
You've taken some of the unknowns out of the equation when you walk in the building. How big is that?
Well, I think it's big because it all starts with the quarterback, right? So just kind of knowing him, and then when I was here, I was in the quarterback room. And so I have a feel what he likes, what he doesn't. And that's important as a play caller. And then we'll continue here when the players come back and stuff. So I'll get to know more about him and the plays and stuff that he really likes a lot and what they've been doing good here.
You were here when this offense really initially took place.
Yeah.
When Ben became the offensive coordinator.
Yep.
Dan was the head coach. You were part of that staff.
Yep.
That offense is obviously taken off. It's established, as winning 2 consecutive divisions now and being a big part of that. What do you remember about that process when you guys were putting this thing together?
Well, it's about the players, and it starts with the quarterback. Like I said, that's where we're starting right there. So it takes a little time when you first put an offense in. I've done this many times where you put a new offense in, and it's all predicated on who that quarterback is. And I think one of the the smartest things that we did, when he took over as a play caller, we brought Jared in.
If we get shut down, then we know.
He really liked, and then we go from that. Same thing we did back in the day.
I think audio is a little bit different than video.
This is how we're going to call the plays and everything. But Drew, when he was at the Chargers at the time, there were certain plays that he loved, and we even ended up calling it the way he did, as opposed to, okay, you're going to learn our terminology, because, man, when he heard that play, he knew exactly how to play fast.
All right. So that was John Morton talking about a Number of things. So let's go ahead and get the elephant out of the room, out of the way. We were talking about Dan Campbell possibly calling plays when we were talking about Tanner Engstrand being promoted to the new offensive coordinator, but that does not look like it's going to be the case with John Morton. Now there are some fears and some concerns about John Morton, and he did his best to assuage those fears by letting you know that, hey, it was a tough situation in New York. Also, even though it was a tough situation, he got the best out of freaking Josh McCown, Bilal Powell, and who else? Who was the receiver that they got the best out of? I don't know if it was Chosen. Was it Chosen? Robbie Chosen Anderson? I don't remember. I think it was 2017. I don't know where he was at the time. But that's a big thing. Being able to be comfortable, being able to know the people that are in the building, also having input on who you're hiring. You know why you're keeping the people that you kept. You know why Mark Brunell is still there. You know why Hank Fraley is still there. You know why all these people are still there. And there was no need for you to come in and be like, oh, I wanted to do this, that, and the third thing. That's another thing that we didn't really talk about when we talked about the new coaching hires. And Coach Shep, I don't have the sound, but I'll talk about some of the things that he said in his interview with Dan Miller a little bit later. But this is a thing that we said we wanted to keep everything together, right? Now, if you're not going to promote from within, John Morton, a guy that had been here a couple of years ago, is pretty much the perfect hire because you keep the continuity in more ways than one. He's not coming in here saying, hey, I got to bring in my own this, my own that, my own the third thing, right? The tight ends coach, who cares? We've had a new tight end coach every single year that Dan Campbell has been the coach. And who we missed somebody, a passing game coordinator, right? So the passing game coordinator obviously was John Morton's hire, or it was Dan Campbell's hire with John Morton's input and approval. So we didn't need to come in and say, all right, we need a new run game coordinator because we promoted Hank Fraley. We need a new offensive line coach because we were keeping Hank Fraley regardless. If we would have lost Hank Fraley, not only would we have lost the coach, but we would have lost the player in Frank Ragnow because Frank Ragnow said he's not interested in playing for another offensive line coach. So we brought in this guy who was familiar with everyone in the building. And there was no need to come in here and say, all right, we're going to tear this thing down to the studs. We're going to bring in a whole new staff for offense, and we're going to do everything the way that I want to do it. No, he's very competent, very capable in being able to go ahead and continue with the system. Remember, I told you, if the Detroit Lions are going to have sustained success, you have to look at the New England Patriots. It was called the Patriot way, but it really was the Brady way, because now Brady, when McCown, again, I don't know if anyone answered this question yesterday, but the question that I asked, when Josh McCown, hold on, let me just get it so we can see. All right, when did Josh, not McCown, McDaniels, Coach Tim Tebow. All right. Was it 2010? Because the article is from 2010. That's when they got Tebow. All right. So McDaniels went over there, right? I have a point here. All right. Josh McDaniels goes to coach the Denver Broncos in 2010. The Patriots were 14-2 in 2010. Okay, so you see what I'm saying? Like, all right, we got a new offensive coordinator, and he was promoted or hired because Josh McDaniels left, and he went to coach Tim Tebow and all the offense, and all was it 14-2. Why were they 14-2? Because Tom Brady was the system. Tom Brady was the offense. Now, when you come in as the new coordinator, Tom Brady is teaching you the offense. Notice what John Morton said about Drew Brees. It was the same thing. Drew Brees had a number of plays that he liked to call and the way that he liked to call them. So what John Morton did, right, with Sean Payton there, because John Morton learned from Sean Payton, just like Dan Campbell learned from Sean Payton. Let's take what the quarterback likes, and then we're going to call the plays in the way that he knows them. We're not changing the verbiage. Remember, Dan Campbell said that? He said he wanted everything to be the same. We're not changing the verbiage because you already know this. You can already play fast. You're not going to be thinking instead of executing, right? So now Jared Goff, 4 years in the offense, understands how the plays are called. He understands all the assignments on every play. He likes this, but he doesn't like that. So as a play caller who already is familiar with Jared Goff, he knows what he likes. That's what he said. I know what he likes. I know how to call plays the way this guy likes the plays to be called. And we're using the same verbiage because we're not going to change the terminology just for the sake of changing the terminology. If the quarterback recognizes it as this, then we're going to keep it as this so that we can continue playing fast. So this is why I do not expect there to be a drop-off when it comes to the offense. We still have Jared Goff. Okay, where's our tour? Where is he? All right, because I'm saying something, right, that people need to hear. We still have Jared Goff. We still have Amon-Ra St. Brown. We still have J-Mo. We still have Jahmyr Gibbs. We still have David Montgomery, who was recruiting Myles Garrett. He said, Myles, if you can hear this, come on over, bro. Okay. And him and Jahmyr Gibbs were at some event and they were dressed the same, and they're really big brother and little brother. It really is. It's not a bit. I think it's very genuine. You still got all your pieces. You still got Sam LaPorta. You still got all these guys that are on the offense and who are the core pieces of the offense. And now you've got a coordinator who's like, we're just going to use the same terminology. We're going to call the same plays. We're going to call them in a way that makes our quarterback comfortable. And the quarterback has autonomy. He can go to the offensive coordinator as they're going to sit down and have another meeting and multiple meetings throughout the year and say, Coach, I don't like this. Coach, I really like this. Let's call this play. Let's not call this play. These are some plays that I didn't feel comfortable with. Let's remove those and replace them with something else. These are plays that I really like. Let's keep those plays and not replace them. I'm really comfortable. Hey, on third down, I like this type of play. Hey, on fourth down, I don't like this type of play. And they can do all of that. So I think it is a really, really good thing to have John Morton, the familiarity. The system is the system. The Patriot way, now you have the Lions way. The Patriot way was Tom Brady. The Lions way is going to be Jared Goff. And I'm excited to see how this thing works out. And let's get to some of your comments and see what you are saying. All right. I know I was talking a lot, so I got to go back and read a lot. But it's all good. Nick Sirianni seems like a hothead I would not want to play for. Unfortunately, he has a Super Bowl ring. I love the fact that he comes from Michigan and was a fan of Detroit Lions, so he knows what we have been through. I forgot to say this. This man was a Barry Sanders fan. This man is automatically my favorite coach on the team. He said he was a fan of Barry Sanders. That's all I need to know about him. I don't care if he has any experience, right? If you, J-Rod, come and tell me that you were a fan of Barry Sanders, you can go coach for the Detroit Lions and I will love you forever. No, I'm playing. I'm just playing. I would not. We do have higher standards than that. If you are a coach and you don't have any experience, then, all I can tell you is,
Ain't nobody got time for that.
yeah, we don't have. All right. Let's see. No, I appreciate you, J-Rod, trying to help. I got you. What college did David Montgomery attend? Iowa State. So that's what you were getting at when you were saying the continuity. Well, you got your Tashard choice, and then you got who coached Jahmyr Gibbs. Now you got a guy that coached David Montgomery. I got you. Sounds like terminology won't change much. Nope, it should not. Let's see. I'm still curious why Tanner was passed up for OC in Detroit last year. He seemed like a lock for OC if Ben left. I've heard. I can't say that this is like correct or incorrect. I've heard that it was some mentality type of thing. Maybe he's not an alpha. You know what I mean? So maybe he's not somebody that can command a room. I don't know. But that's just what I heard. I can't say that it is correct or anything. I cannot confirm nor can I deny. I think the only changes will be running the ball a little more and a little less trick plays. I would love to see that. I don't have a problem with the trick plays. Only trick play any of us had a problem with was J-Mo throwing the football. And there were a multitude of reasons why we had a problem with that. Like if you felt like it was arrogant or whatever, and he threw a pass at that time, that's fine. I feel like it was a bad play. Like it was poorly designed. From the beginning, we knew it was a trick play. From the beginning. If we knew it from our couches and from our desks and studios or wherever we're watching it from, what do you think the Commanders thought about it on the play, on the field? They probably said, oh, this is a trick play because he just burned us for 60 yards on a reverse for a touchdown. So what's happening here? Everyone lock in. Yeah, it was poorly called in the way that it was designed, and it was poorly called in the timing of it because they had just run, they had just run the reverse. So basically they were like, well, this is reverse action and they're going to run something else off of it. They're not just going to run another reverse, right? Very slow developing play, wasn't well disguised. So if we have less of that going on, 100%. The stumble bum, which he missed out on, should have been called the Stumblerooski. So I'll call it the Stumblerooski. The Stumblerooski was excellent. It was well-timed play. So if we got some trick plays like that are well-timed, no problem with it. But running the ball more, definitely something that I want to see. And with now Hank Fraley being the run game coordinator, I think that we'll see more of Philly, right, than what we saw with Ben Johnson. We have, again, arguably the number one offensive line or the number two offensive line. I would like us to see our offensive line, the holes, the rushing lanes, look more like Philadelphia than they did in Detroit. Now, Jahmyr Gibbs had over 2,000 scrimmage yards. That's he can get closer to 2,500. I'm not going to say the 3,000 word, but he can get a lot closer if he's got holes where he's scoring touchdowns of 10 plus yards where he wasn't touched. like Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley led the league in 10-plus yard touchdowns where he was not touched by the defense. Okay, I think it was right before the playoffs. He had 8 of those. No one else was close. So if we have more situations where Jahmyr Gibbs isn't getting touched, we already know what happens with him. Once he gets to the second level and that second gear gets kicked in, good luck to you, my friend. Ask Tennessee's defense. He hit that corner and hit 70 like it was nothing. So if we get more of those opportunities, 100%, I definitely would like to see that. Are there any second to third round wide receivers in the draft from Iowa State? I don't even know. I'm not looking at receivers. I don't. What's that dude's name? Tier Shiora T-Mac. I don't know what his name is. I'm not looking at receivers. Receiver will be the last thing that I look at, the last thing that I break down. I'm not interested. The Jags should bring Tebow back for one more shot at TE. He's still in shape. I saw him on the AT&T commercial. Zach J says, let me know if I need to fill in for our tour tonight. Please don't. Keep an eye on Jay Higgins, wide receiver, Iowa State. I mean, okay. TaylorMade says, not only does the QB benefit, the skilled players ain't worrying about whether or not they're in the right formation. That is a fact when we keep everything the same. Here's Johnny says, likes that philosophy. J Rod says, I am Dan Campbell, like already. 2 inches shorter than Dan Campbell, say build. All right. Rod Love 313 says, watching tape and James Pierce Jr. is really a playmaker, even though he's only 243 pounds. Well, I was told yesterday that nobody wanted to talk about James Pierce. I was just looking at Mike Green. TaylorMade says Gibbs doesn't need much daylight to hit the hole, though. He doesn't need much daylight, but I would love to see it. I would love to see Jahmyr Gibbs, of all people, running through holes that you could drive a truck through. Because if he gets a hole where you can drive a truck through and he can just set his sights on the secondary, nobody's catching him. Nobody's catching him. It would be like that dude. What was that dude name? Caleb Williams. When Jonathan Vilma was like, ooh, gives him the Skittles. I don't know what that means, but it's great. All right, so let's go ahead and switch gears here. We are going.
Boy, have you lost your mind? Because I'll help you find it.
So I just want to know if you guys want to talk about receivers. I think everyone is just going to say a mixture of
hell no.
Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the
and also
no. 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 Hell no. 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 No.
All right. So I don't think we want to talk about receivers. All right. Let's talk about Mike Green. So our prospect spotlight is going to be Mike Green. What up, though? Easy. Speak Easy Sports is in here. Let's see. For you, Speak Easy Sports, we got it on tuck. We ready. We got it. Let's do it.
The champ is here. The champ is here. The champ is here. The champ is here.
Yes, sir. Hey, man, I told you I've been dabbling. I'm getting my soundboard ready, man. It's all ready. All right. Mike Green. Paper chasers. Mike Green as a prospect. I don't know if he's worth talking about. Because if you're Brad Holmes sitting at 28, do you have a chance to get a Mike Green? We know that Mike Green went to the Super Bowl, went to the Senior Bowl, showed out, and went home early. Mike Green, I think, is only going to continue to rocket up the draft boards. If he goes to the combine and shows out and has an excellent combine, then he's going to, I'm not going to say he's going to vault himself into the top 10, but he's definitely going to be in the top 15. Now, if you've got to move up to draft a Mike Green, do you want to just get someone proven? You got to move up from 28, so you're going to have to pick swap, and you're going to have to give somebody else up. I just told you in the beginning that they thought that Myles Garrett was going to go for 2 first-round picks, which are really 2 second-round picks, if you're getting the number 32 pick from the Eagles. And at that point, I don't want to trade up for a Mike Green who, yes, he looks good, on film in college. Yes, he's probably going to be a stud. I don't know what type of stud he's going to be, but I know what type of stud Myles Garrett is. So when you start getting into people that are really, really good and you're going to move up to get them, just use those draft picks to get Myles Garrett. Now, if Myles Garrett doesn't agree to come here, that's one thing. But I think you give those 2 first-round picks, those 2 28s, or one of them's a 28, and you hope the next one's a 32, right? Just take them, give them to Cleveland, and get Myles Garrett and call it a day. So J-Rod says, don't rap. Uses his size. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Speakeasy Sports says, smash the like button for my guy trying to grow. Yes, do that. Please do that. Please and thank you. Zach J says, Edge OLCB. All right. So the things that I did see about Mike Green. What is the big belt? What's the belt? Where? I don't know. The things that I did say see about Mike Green. Mike Green, extremely athletic, fast, quick. He uses a number of pass rush moves. I saw him split double teams. I saw him engage with the swim move, throw a spin here and there. Obviously, yesterday we talked about Nick Scorton and Shamar Stewart, who are big, strong, physical power guys. Shamar Stewart falls in love a little bit too much with his power. Nick Scorton has some power, and he also likes to spin. I think Mike Green is more of a finesse rusher. Now, we did say that we're going to talk a little bit about Shep later on as his coaching style and what his defense is going to look like. However, from what we know, they did pass on Hassan Reddick when Hassan Reddick was available. If Hassan Reddick is more of a speed finesse guy, a lot of us wanted Hassan Reddick, but I knew we weren't going to get Hassan Reddick. I spent a lot of time defending Hassan Reddick last season because the stuff that was coming out about him from the Jets and Aaron Rodgers talking about, oh, he's trying to poison the well and all this other garbage. Well, how would you feel if you told a team that when they were trying to trade from you from your current team, you had no interest in going to play for them. And then they told you, well, we're going to give you an extension. And you said, well, I don't want to play for you. So then they traded for you anyway. And then they decided that they weren't going to give you that extension that you were looking for. Would you have reported to camp? I wouldn't have. Maybe he doesn't fit the grit or whatever the case, but his situation was a little bit more nuanced than what you would just say, oh, he's just a diva or he's a prima donna or whatever the case may be. But regardless of all of that, he was available. They didn't go get him. I would say Mike Green is more of a Hassan Reddick than he is a Marcus Davenport. I only use Marcus Davenport for effect because we damn sure can't use him to play football. Okay. I use Marcus Davenport for effect when I'm talking about prototypical size 6'6", 260. I think Mike Green is, let me get his measurables. I apologize for what's going on in the background. My family has said that they damn all of my podcasts and they're not going to do anything about it. So Mike Green is 6'3", 251. All right. So I'm not going to say he's on the light side. He's 250. Okay. But he doesn't use as much power as I think that he has. So that would be the only kind of drawback on a Mike Green. But I also don't believe that Mike Green is going to fall. I think he's going to rise. Pause. Okay. So as Mike Green rises, I don't think that we're going to have a chance to get him. Would I love to see him on the other side of Hutch? Sure. 100%. If we got to trade up to get anybody, he better be the next Myles Garrett. That's all I'm going to say on that. All right. ESPN has him at 6'3", J-Rod. So I don't know. Maybe he is 6'4". Sometimes they get heights and weights wrong. J-Rod says, I like Shamar Stewart, then Jack Sawyer. I think Jack Sawyer is going to be the last one that I do, to be quite honest with you. I feel gross watching Ohio No State tape. That Hassan Reddick deal can be solved with my man AG having a talk about his value to the club. 100%. That's what I'm saying. I don't think that Hassan Reddick was a bad character person. I think it was that he was dealing with the Jets, which are just a bad organization. If I tell you I don't want to go there and you still make me go there, that's number one, right? Later, if we double dip Batty or Savion, you gotta give me a little bit of time, man, because you seem like you've been on college football and the draft for a minute. I have not. we were preparing for a Super Bowl run, so we weren't even really concerned about draft prospects. The draft, we did not care. I'm here to tell you right now. We don't care. We don't care. I got to get that one. That's going to be my next project. All right. Before I dive, I'm not going to say that because there's all types of pauses. Before we talk about Coach Shep, let me see if anyone has said anything about the all 32 mock draft. I did. As I said I was going to do, I did make a room for the 32. All right. J-Rod says he's going to be the Giants. Mr. Morale 313 says Browns. Yes, I'm serious. So we've got a bid for the Giants, the Browns. Tactical Spork has said he wants to be the Bears, but make sure that you put it in the Discord so that I know. Yeah, so that I know it's there. Let me go ahead and react to this so that you will acknowledge that I have seen it. Okay. J-Rod says, I want to start my own podcast. Go ahead, start it, bro. I'll definitely be a guest if you want me to come through. What up, though, Jay Cruising? All right. Let's talk about Shep. As I said earlier, I don't have the sound for Shep. But the excitement that I have for Shep is this. Speaking of excitement, it's not there. I'll just say this.
I'm Rick James, bitch.
Okay. There is the excited one. I don't know where it is. Is this it? No, that's not it.
The world, Craig. Shit, not just the city, the world.
Nah, I don't have it on this board. Let me see if I have it on this board. I don't even think I have it. I don't have it. But you know what I do have? I'll tell you what I do have.
Please come home. I got beans and bologna.
I got beans and bologna.
All I hear. Please come home. I got beans and bologna.
Okay. Anyway, let's get to Shep. The thing that I'm excited about with Shep, obviously we know Steve Spagnuolo and others have said that he's extremely smart when they saw him as a player. One thing that he said in the interview that he did with Dan Miller as he sat down, just like Johnny Morton sat down with Dan Miller, he said, Casey Rogers said, Shep's the guy, I'm coming. That's a direct quote from Coach Shepard. Okay? Kelvin Shepard said, Casey Rogers, a man who just saw him as a player, hadn't coached with him, a man that just saw him as a player, a man who was learning under Todd Bowles. Now, say what you want about Todd Bowles as a head coach. I think he's done a fantastic job. I mean, we played the Bucks. Okay, the Bucks were licking their chops to stop us from going to the NFC Championship game last year, and wasn't an easy game. He's got Baker Mayfield and his resurgence, all these things. So whether you like Todd Bowles or you don't like Todd Bowles as a head coach, you have to respect him as a defensive mind. And his mind as a defensive guru is why he's gotten the opportunity to not only be the head coach of the Jets, which I said before that if you get to be the head coach of the Jets, don't worry if you do a bad job because everyone gets fired from the Jets. But he comes from the Jets getting fired. Then he gets a head coaching job. At the behest of a Tom Brady. Okay, because remember, Bruce Arians was the head coach over there. And Tom was like, Bruce, I'm going to need you to go ahead and move up to the booth there, to take a senior advisor role because this ain't working no more. So at the behest of the GOAT, hold on. Anyway, at the behest of the GOAT, Todd Bowles became the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, hold on. Losing my train of thought because no one in the back wants to shut the hell up. So Casey Rogers, who was learning under Todd Bowles, said that if Shep is the defensive coordinator of the Detroit Lions, I am coming. Y'all want to hire me? I have been a student of Todd Bowles. I've been with Todd Bowles since New York. I've been a defensive coordinator with play calling experience under Todd Bowles. I was Todd Bowles' defensive coordinator. Let that sink in. If this man is going to be the new head coach, the new defensive coordinator of the Detroit Lions, sign me up. Where do I sign? Like, need I say more about the potential of Coach Shep? Coach Shep also mentioned his support system. He was talking about Casey Rogers when he talked about his support system. And a guy that doesn't know him as a coach, but he saw him as a player and decided this is where I need to go. Also, he pointed out the fact that so many people, we have Jim O'Neill was a defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers. We got Deshae Townsend, who had multiple defensive coordinator opportunities or interviews this offseason and came back, he said, with a renewed excitement. Okay, his excitement was renewed because he gets to work with Shep as the defensive coordinator. So he's got an extensive support system which he is going to rely on. He's got multiple people with play calling experience and defensive coordinator experience who are going to help him along the way. And he mentioned them, meaning it's not my way or the highway, and I'm the smartest guy in the room, and I know everything, and you don't know anything, and you can't tell me anything. Shout out Josh McDaniels. Shout out Fatty Matty Patty. Shout out people of this nature, right? That's not what Coach Shep is going to do. He is going to take from what is around him, and he is going to utilize the people that he has. This is going to be a tight-knit coaching, I hope no one's clipping this. All right, this is going to be a tight-knit coaching group. This is going to be a tight-knit locker room. What did he say about the defense that you can expect under him? Maximum effort. Okay? Trying to cover. We're going to cover. Now my damn phone is ringing. This day is not going well. It's just not. Like, everything around me wants to be disruptive today. This is going to be a tight-knit group. The defense that he said, we're going to cover every blade of grass. Okay? It is going to be maximum effort. It is going to be violent. It's going to be vicious. And he said, I didn't talk about a single stat in that situation because when you do all these things, everything else follows, right? So he wasn't talking to you about no stats, or he wasn't talking to you about no sacks. He wasn't talking to you about no turnovers, nothing. Okay? He was saying, I didn't bring no milk, no cookies, nothing. Okay? I came looking for booty. All right?
I came looking for booty.
Okay, you understand what I'm saying? So, although other things are going to follow, if you do everything, he said you will stand out if your effort is not what it needs to be. The coaches are not coaching effort. You will stand out in the wrong way if you are not as a unit playing for every man next to you. There is no me. It is everyone. It is one unit. So after you do all these things and you buy into all of that, that's when you're going to get the sacks. That's when you're going to get the turnovers. Now, don't think for 1 second that Coach Shep believes that Myles Garrett would not help the sacks. Don't think for 1 second that Coach Shep believes that one of these studs in the draft would not help the sacks. Another thing that we have to understand, remember, think back. When Antoine Randall got his weapon, what did he do? He came in the draft room. He was like, yeah. When they drafted J-Mo. What you think? Who you think is going to be? Who is Coach Shep going to come into the draft room for and be like, yeah. Is it going to be the draft room, or is he going to walk in Allen Park after the trade happens for Myles Garrett or Max Crosby? At this point, I don't care. I would take either one of them. But that's what I wanted to talk about with Coach Shep. All right, let me see what you guys are saying. No, I'm saying that Casey Rogers worked with Todd Bowles. Broski Bear has been banned because he was a racist. Let's see. He said wrong now. You offered to partner with me once you got going. I didn't answer. I was talking. I was trying to make my own point. You'll see when you start yours. Let's see. Yes, TaylorMade. I did say at the behest. The smartest guy in the room is Artur. Artur means author in French. Players want to play for coaches who played. That simple. 100%. You need that Joe Clark, you smoke crack, don't you? I'm going to get that. Hold on. Let me write that down. Let me write that down. All right, I'm gonna get that after this. Here's Johnny. Jack Sawyer will be last. I will be the last channel that talks about Jack Sawyer or the other dude, Tumanali Fumananahata, whatever his name is from Ohio State. I don't want to watch their film. I feel gross, but I mean, I'm gonna have to do it. I'm an adult, you know. I can put those things behind me, but it's gonna be the last thing that I do. Is Artur really Joey 2 times? I remember that name from way back in the day. All right. So yeah, that's all I got as far as the material. What do we have in the chat? Let's see. Tactical Sports said it has been posted. Gotcha. All right, he's acknowledged. So right now we got the Giants, the Browns, and the Bears for our big 32 mock draft. Anyone else who wants to participate in that mock draft, if you are not in the Discord, please let me know so we can get you a link to join the Discord so that you can register your interest, register your interests, not reger. That's not a thing. What up though, Frank the Tank? We can't do any wide receiver talk because I don't know any wide receiver names. Okay? The only name that I know is Tiara Tamama McMillan. Okay? And I don't even know what his name is. Okay? It sounds like an Aztec name. Like Tanach Titlin or something like that. But yeah, I have not paid any attention to any wide receivers or running backs. Quarterbacks are not any good, right? Did you see what Cam Ward had to say? He had a message to all of the NFL teams. He said, if you do not draft me, that's your fault, and I will remember that. I don't think he has a long list of teams that he's got to be angry with. Are you going to be angry with the Detroit Lions? I mean, you're not going to get there. Are you going to be angry with the Philadelphia Eagles? You're not going to get there. You're going to be a top 5 pick or top 10 for sure, right? You notice that connection, wanted to point it out. I'm not going to call him Bob 1. If I call him Bob 1, no one would know what I'm talking about. His name is T-Mac. And I don't feel good calling him T-Mac because the only T-Mac I recognize is former Pistons legend Tracy McGrady. It's the only T-Mac I recognize. I said, I'm an intelligent class clown. I am a boss at a multi-million-dollar a year company. I am a lot like MCDC. As a boss, my workers work hard and we respect each other. Well, I know you're not doing a bit about a certain person because that last part wouldn't apply. Ohio. Yeah, I don't want to talk about Jack Sawyer. I don't want to. The combine is coming up, right? So we're going to be talking about those prospects and how they did as well. It is going to be next Thursday. Yes, next Thursday. So we'll definitely talk about that. I won't be on Thursday, so Friday it'll be good because obviously we talk about what happened on day 1. I don't know if I can say that. I like your comment, Zach J, but I don't know if I'm gonna get canceled. Well, I'm not just gonna sit here and let you guys watch me. That's just weird. Oh, damn, I found it. When I said I was excited about something.
So excited!
Yeah, I found it. There is no happiness in Ohio. That is a fact. You know why I don't want to talk about Jack Sawyer? Because
This ain't for play. I don't do this for fun.
I don't know. That sounded low on my end. I don't know about you guys. You know what we would say if Myles Garrett went to the Philadelphia Eagles? Nah, that's not the meaning anymore. They stole that, J-Rod. Just like they stole the month. What month did they steal? Was it June? That was stolen. If Myles Garrett goes to the Eagles, we will all collectively say,
Help me! Help me!
So we did Mike Green. We did. I still have to do. What's his name? Michael. Is it Washington? What is his name? Michael. There's a new sheriff in town. Who's the new sheriff? Michael Williams. Okay, yeah. Long off season again when we hit every topic part. Yeah. We got to. The topics don't make themselves anymore. I mean, they kind of do, but you know. Famunda. We need more. We're doing defensive line. I'm gonna do a defensive line until there's no one else to talk about in the defensive line, and then I'll probably switch to linebackers. So that's gonna be. So give me some suggestions. After I do Michael Williams, does anybody want to hear about James Pierce? I know he has been shot down the list, maybe because he's 243 pounds. Maybe we believe we don't have an opportunity to get him. Just like no one is asking for Abdul Carter because they're talking about him as a possible first round pick. Y'all know what else I got? And I think I'll do this on Sundays. Welcome everybody. This is Adam Amin, and I'm on here with Tom Brady, and we're going to talk about football today. We got the Detroit Lions about to face the Minnesota Vikings. Don't touch that bow. We'll be right back. From under down under. Come on, if you know, you know. I know Vegemite, which is terrible. Vegemite is one of the most disgusting food items that they've ever come up with. To lower that, I would just have to lower the volume of the microphone. I think it works. Yeah, it works on the volume of the microphone. So if I dropped it down here, is that better? Because I dropped the mic from 77 to 22. So you're just saying you don't like the jingle at all. The weather where I'm at is bipolar. We've been hit with a cold spell, so yeah, it feels nice. I think the temperature right now is 60 degrees. Yeah, it's 60 degrees, but then on Friday it's supposed to go up. What is it going up to? Friday is supposed to go up to 86. So yesterday, the The high was 70. Today, the high is 64. Tomorrow, the high is 69. Then on Friday is 86. Saturday is 93. Sunday, it is 84. Monday is 72. Yeah. Then 80, then 94, then 75, then 76. Bro. That's all I gotta say is bro. Your temperature is crazy. So are there any suggestions other than Michael Williams? I've got a list that Precision Standing sent me. The Pro Football Network simulator is so far off on prospects. Draft prospects? Like, off how? Are you doing a mock draft? Oh, yeah. Remember, guys, on Friday, tell your friends. I'm going to be doing the first mock draft of my career. I tried to get a mock draft app, but my phone's operating system is too new, which is wild. What's the most accurate mock draft platform you guys believe? What is the most like realistic, accurate that I should check out? No, I mean, as far as the actual platform, the problem with PFS is useless. You buy a subscription, you only get to do one draft a day. That's crazy. Oh, it's unless you buy a subscription. Sorry. Problem with PFF is unless you buy a subscription, you only get to do one draft a day. And I guess for the draft junkies, that's like that's a tease. To a Pro Football Network, the PFF or the PFN simulator is bad. That's why I'm saying, what's the best simulator? When I do the draft live on the show, what is the best simulator? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing today. It's really pretty frustrating. So J-Rod says the Pro Football Network is the best. And Zach J says the Pro Football Network sucks. Who are the scouts, or are they off limits? Which scouts are you talking about? Has anybody used the NFL mock draft database? I'm going to try that one. Pro Football Network has Mike Green going in the second. Hey, that's great. If he lasts to the second, that means that he would be there at 28, where we pick, and apparently we pass on him. All right. I think I'm going to let you guys go. So.
You know what? I'm tired of your presence. Dismiss.
That wasn't true. I just wanted to use that. I do not want princely. Okay. Looking for a free one until after combine. So they charge you for it after the combine? Yeah. All right. So anyway, I just want you guys to remember one thing before I go.
But look at here. Look. I got beans, creams, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, ram, raw, beans, creams, potatoes, tomatoes, chicken, turkeys, rat. Beans, creams, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, ram, raw, beans, creams, potatoes, tomatoes, chicken, turkeys, beans, creams, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, ram, raw, beans, creams, potatoes, tomatoes, chicken, turkeys, rat. Beans, creams, potatoes, tomatoes, beans, creams, potatoes, tomatoes, beans, creams, potatoes, creams, beans, creams, potatoes, tomatoes, chicken, beans, creams.
All right, y'all. Motor City Cats back at it. Can I give you stats, not static? Whatever you do, make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic. And we are up out of here. Peace.